loves. So I'm gonna try to do multiple recipes. Excuse the I don't care look right now, but I didn't want to do what I'm gonna do without recording it, but I didn't want to do a whole face either. So first, I'm going to go ahead and make the creamy spaghetti that I make for my husband. It is something that I meal prep for him every Sunday. How he is not sick of it, I have no idea. This man has been eating it probably for the last like 3 months. I make it a little different because we wanted to make sure that it was quick and easy for him to eat it at work while he heats it up. And if you do noodles, it takes really long. It also makes a mess. He doesn't have time. So I use elbow noodles. And then because my husband has heartburn, like really bad, we don't do straight red sauce, which is why it's a creamy spaghetti. I use heavy whipping cream, garlic, and a whole bunch of other seasonings I'm going to go ahead and mention. But let's go ahead and get ready because I have 3 other things that I'm going to be making, and I'm going to try to make sure that I record all of them. Okay, so here are the ingredients that I use for my creamy spaghetti. I use elbow noodles. For whatever reason, these are the best that don't reheat badly because he does eat this as his meal prep for the week. I use adobo because, I don't know, it's just something that we use. I'm not sure if it's a Puerto Rican thing or a Hispanic thing. I do chicken bouillon, Italian seasoning. It is definitely my go-to. Onion powder, garlic powder. I also do Parmesan cheese. This is one of my favorite spaghetti sauces along with my husband's from Sprouts. You can use any one. This is just our go-to. If I don't make it from scratch, which honestly I haven't lately. I use a little bit of half and half and some heavy whipping cream. And I usually do straight turkey, but sometimes I'll get a little fancy. No, I'm kidding. It just adds a little more flavor. Sometimes I'll do half of this beef, and then I'm gonna do half of this ground turkey because we're gonna use the other half for Taco Tuesday. Don't mind my son in the background. I probably want to delete it, but you know what? That's just life, and that's mom life, so it is what it is. But let's go ahead and get started. Okay, here's a little quick view of everything that I'm going to go ahead and use. I've already listed it in the beginning of the video, but go ahead and make sure you get all your ingredients ready so we can go ahead and begin. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. This is an old pot that I just can't part ways with. And I think it's mainly because I can make my husband's spaghetti in here pretty quick and easy. We're gonna let that oil heat up a little bit to medium heat. Add a little bit of salt. We aren't big salt people in this house. So wait till that gets to a boil. You already see that this oil has heated up. I always do the beef before the turkey. So I always want to make sure that I fully cook it and that the flavor from the beef kind of leaks on over to the turkey. Okay, now that the ground beef is brown, I'm going to go ahead and add the turkey. And like I said before, we're not using all of this. We need a little for our turkey boats we're going to make on Tuesday. I think that's about. Now I wait to add the seasoning once the meat is a little more brown, the turkey, just a little bit though. Okay, so this is the brown that you want the combination of the meat to be, and now we're going to go ahead and add our seasonings. Adobo, I prefer the all-purpose when I'm using it for this dish. Chicken bouillon. If we are doing measurements, I want to say a teaspoon of each, but play it by eye because everyone's different. Onion powder. Okay, well that's taking too long. I just refilled it, so. Italian seasoning. I'll go ahead and make sure we mix that all in there. Oh, and you know what? One of the things I forgot to tell you guys that I put in this dish is pesto. Honey, do you mind grabbing me the pesto? Now we're gonna go ahead and add some garlic powder. Honestly, I usually have it in smaller containers, but I just ran out of my Trader Joe's. So again, probably a teaspoon to a tablespoon of garlic. And I only say that because I will probably be adding more later on. I can already smell that. Now we're gonna go ahead and do the pesto. My favorite pesto, if I'm not making it from scratch, is the Kirkland brand. Like I said, when you're on a budget, it's actually like the best. I do about 1.5 tablespoons. Make sure you combine that as best you can. So once you start to really smell that pesto, you smell it once it hits that heat. And you're going to go ahead and add about half a cup of half and half. We're going to go ahead and blend that in. Just move it around a little bit. And then what would most likely be another half a cup of heavy whipping cream. This is my favorite, again, from Costco. It is way cheaper. It's also thicker. I'm gonna say half a cup as well. Again, it might end up being a cup. What I like to do, excuse me, is taste this before I add the spaghetti sauce, because there's a certain taste that it needs to have in order for it to taste the way he wants it to, combined with the spaghetti sauce. So we're going to give that a little bit of time. Let's go ahead and give that a taste test. I feel like it needs a little more seasoning. My husband just said, how are you supposed to know what it's supposed to taste like? You'll know, and I say that because it's to your liking. So always make sure you don't over season and then you taste it at this step. And then if you want to season more, add each seasoning little by little till you get the flavor that you're looking for. Why did I do that? So it's almost as if I probably ended up using close to a tablespoon of everything. But we're going to move it around and then we're going to taste it. Want to let it cook for about 1 to 2 minutes. And then we're going to give it another taste before we add in the spaghetti sauce. We're going to go ahead and give it that taste test one more time. Make sure you wash your spoon. You never want to add it in there after you've already put it in your mouth. Okay, so good. That's perfect. Now we're going to go ahead and add my favorite spaghetti sauce from Sprouts. Ooh. I just do a small amount to mix it in. And we're going to lower the heat. And we're also going to add in our parm. I usually get the fresh parm, on the stick and then I grate it over. But that's really when I'm in the mood. So this is probably half a cup as well, if we're going by measurements. If you want to get a little spicy, you can add red pepper flakes to this. I'm sure that would be amazing. But I'm not doing that. Be careful when you put your spaghetti sauce in there, because for whatever reason, it likes to splatter everywhere. Go ahead and put a little bit of water in your jar. Mix it up. And you get every last bit. Okay. Now we're gonna wait till this blends in completely. Go ahead and taste now that it's combined. You see all the flavors in there. Yum. Perfect. I should record my husband tasting it. Okay. What, honey? Why not, hon? To make life easier, make sure you start putting everything away so you don't leave your kids to do most of it, since that is my children's chore. Now you lower the heat on this, on the sauce, till the noodles are ready. What I like to do is also ask Alexa for the timer, because if not, I will overcook the noodles, and my husband is a little particular about his noodles being overcooked. Remember, you always want to do it 2 minutes under what the box says, because the heat of the sauce, once you add it to the sauce, is going to continue cooking the noodles. And if you do it to the exact number of the box, you will overcook your noodles. And that's just not good. That's no bueno. Let's go ahead and add our box. Honestly, I would normally use a much bigger pot, but the one that I have is behind a whole bunch of other things, and I'm not in the mood to move all of that. I will say sometimes my husband likes his spaghetti more saucy, so sometimes I'll add a little more, or a little bit of chicken broth. That way it still has flavor. Also remember that you're going to use a little bit of the pasta water to thicken it up as well. Alexa, set a 7-minute timer.
Second timer, 7 minutes, starting now. Do you want to name this timer?
Yes.
What do you want to call it?
Spaghetti.
Okay, I'll call it spaghetti. 7 minutes, starting now.
There we go. And I'll be back with you in 7 minutes. Okay, it has been 7 minutes. Like I said, this is not the pot I usually use, but let's go ahead and strain that out. Remember not to strain all the pasta water, because you are going to use it. I'm gonna go ahead and add this. I am going to be using my other spoon, because we have to make sure that we fold it in there. And remember to turn this one off. I'm going to let you guys see what it looks like after like 5 to 10 minutes of it just sitting there. You're going to see how saucy it looks. right now, and it does not stay that way. Make sure you try to submerge as much of the noodles as you can to put them in there so it could soak up all the flavor. Okay, look at how pretty that looks. Let's see what it's gonna look like in 5 minutes. Okay, just like I said, remember I said it literally swallows the sauce. And it's still gonna do a little more. So this is like the first mixture. And then you're gonna see in about 10 minutes, I'm gonna do it again.